Hello everyone. I am going to show you another drawing of a bluebird that I will be starting on. This one will be actually for a gift for one of a family member. So this is my bluebird I'm going to try to represent. And I want to show you the very steps from the very beginning, early steps. So I've taken my pattern and I have a large window in my art room, and that is what I will use to trace it off on. I simply use a number 2 pencil and I hold it up to the light and you can clearly see most of the details. I don't really have to have every single mark on here, but for beginners, I really advise trying to have as many details as you can, because it really helps when it comes down to what colors to use, where I'm using the colors, where to blend the colors. So after you do use your number 2 pencil to make the drawing, I use pastel mat on almost all of my colored pencil drawings. Pastel mat, if you're not familiar with it, it has kind of a grain to it, a tooth to it. And that tooth allows you to use several different colors to blend together or layer on top of one another. So you just take your picture, get it centered on your pastel mat, however you want it. And I use my, my clip on my board to hold both the picture down on that until I get it totally traced. And then once it's totally traced, of course, you can take the paper off. I'm just going to leave my paper attached to it for right now. So I've got my pattern traced on there. I've got my blending sticks. They're called stumps also. And I have a small pair of scissors that I keep handy to cut the ends off of that. As long as you're using them on one particular color, you're okay. But I will be using mostly blues and some coral or pink, and you have to use a different tip, of course, for each color, unless you purposely want to blend those two colors together. So I've got those. I've got my eraser. I don't know what brand this is. I love it. It's just a really good, it's a soft eraser. It's not really a kneadable one, but it's very soft and very durable. So I normally use ultramarine blue for most eyes on a lot of different animals. But this time I'm actually going to use number 151. It's Helio blue, reddish. I feel like the beak and the eyes, I'm going to use the same color on those to kind of match up. And if you'll notice also too, where it's got some lighter colors on there, you want to go easy when you fill those in. So I'm just going to jump in here and I'm going to go ahead and do this. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that when I'm doing a portrait, I always like, since I'm left-handed, I try to start from the right to the left, but since this is going to be such a smaller drawing, that's not going to be, too much of an issue. On the eye, there's quite the little sun catch right there. So I'm going to try to kind of leave a little bit of that white. I may fill in with a lighter blue, but for right now, I'm just going to leave that alone. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to make small little stroke marks, and I'm going to fill that in just very gently. It doesn't have to be real dark right now. I'll be darkening it up, but just go lightly for right now. And then also I'll come over here and I'll use the same color on the beak too. Now I also want to show you that I have chosen these other two blues for the main body of the bird. I'm going to use the 145 light phthalo blue and 110 phthalo blue. So of course one's a little bit darker than the other one, and there'll be lots of areas on this bird that I will always start with the lighter, and then you can always go darker. Also too, I've got my piece of scratch pastel matte paper, and as you can see, I've got several marks on here that I've tried different colors. I cannot stress how important it is to actually look at your different colors that you want to use. Obviously, we're going to use blue and some kind of a pink or a salmon color, but you have to really get your colors lined out. Think about that, because that is the first step in the process that is either going to make you a nice piece of artwork or it's not going to match up so well. So I've tried several colors, and I'm going to go with these two blues for the main body of the bird. Then for the actual pole that he is setting on, I'm going to go with a really deep, I believe I am anyway, Indenting Blue 247. It's a really deep blue, and I don't know if this piece of metal is actually black, but it's got a bluish cast to it. And I honestly don't think when I got this photo color copied made, I don't think the colors are as deep as what they should be. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go by this photo, and let's see what happens here. So this is all for this first step on the Bluebird. I've told you what colors I'm going to use for the beak and the eye, and I'm going to go ahead and fill those in. And then I will probably go ahead and start with my light phthalo blue with part of the head. And it's going to start. And on my next video, I will show you exactly how I make those little strokes to imitate the feathers. And you always want the feathers going, your strokes to go in the directions of the feathers. Thank you for watching. I hope this is informative. Thank you.